Hello, welcome to the Lead Magnet Magic mini course. I am so glad you're here. I'm Brandy, and I just wanted to welcome you into this mini course that I've put together, and I am so excited to talk to you more about lead magnets, the power they have to grow your business. So let's dive in. As I said before, my name is Brandy. If you don't know me, I'm the founder of The Wholehearted Hustler on Instagram, and I also have a TikTok and Facebook, so you can find me there as well. But I started my business back in January 2024, so as I'm making this course, that's only 7 months ago, and I was eager to learn how to build a business online, and I was set on getting our family financially free, paying off debt, and eventually I was able to quit my job to stay home with our kids. This all happened so quickly. I was able to grow a 6-figure business and grow a community online of over 400 women. And I'm so grateful for this opportunity to help you guys grow your business as well. So our course objective for Lead Magnet Magic is, number one, it's a mini course. This is a condensed opportunity for you to learn a lot of information in a short amount of time. Okay, it's intended to help you attract your dream client who is ready to buy the products that are already in your store. Okay, so we're attracting someone looking for the solutions that you have to offer, attracting leads daily, and then nurturing them to your offers within your business. Okay, this mini course is going to be separated into 5 different categories. Okay, first we're going to talk about your dream client. Secondly, how to create irresistible lead magnets. This is so key. Number 3, seamless lead funnels. And if that sounds a little bit confusing, I can't wait to actually break that down because that part is probably my favorite. Number 4, marketing your lead magnet. And lastly, analytics and adjusting. Okay, so now we're going to dive in to our first section, how to identify your dream client. All right, before we talk about lead magnets specifically, we have to nail down who our dream client is. Think about it like you're creating an avatar or a character on Sims. Okay, everyone remembers that video game that we all played back in middle school, but we are going to be creating in our minds this ideal client who we want to serve. Okay, so we are going to be talking about the different specific things that are going to help us speak to these people directly so that we have a higher chance of attracting people who are ready to buy rather than always feeling like we are trying to convince someone that they need our product. Okay. Secondly, we're going to start understanding the client's buying journey. Okay. If you don't know what that means, we're going to walk through 3 different steps that you're going to be taking your client on that are very important if you want to start seeing sales, not just leads, but ending in sales. So if we're identifying your ideal client persona, there are a couple things we need to do. Okay, we need to understand the importance of targeting the right audience. Okay, you may have an incredible product, but if you do not know how to reach the right audience with that product, you will never sell. I would never purchase products for, someone who really loves animals or dogs. We don't have dogs in our family. My husband's actually not a big dog person. So that product being sent to my feed, maybe it's a dog bowl or a collar or a leash that's just really cool for people who own dogs. That would not be something that would resonate with me because it doesn't fit my persona. It doesn't fit what I'm looking for or my pain points. So it's very important that we are targeting the right audience with our products. Okay, how do you create a detailed dream client persona? We're going to break this down together. Okay, we're going to talk about demographics, pain points, and desires that your dream client will have, and market research tactics to ensure that you're speaking to the right people. Okay, this is a kind of a strategy that a lot of us skip. A lot of people don't want to go through the actual market research portion, but I'm going to break it down to where it is simple so that you know what you need to do along the way. Okay, so the importance of targeting the right audience. So key. Once again, if someone was targeting me as a potential buyer of pet apparel or pet accessories or things like that, we don't own pets, so that would not be worth that business owner's time, right? I am not the right audience for a business that sells pet accessories. But here's what I want you to do is I want you to first break down 3 different things. So if you're taking notes, I want you to write these things down. What are things that you're good at? What are things that you are an expert at? Okay. Now, you may desire to teach on a specific subject that you are not an expert at yet. So here's what I'm going to say. If you are not an expert at something, but you want to teach on it, then you have work to do. You have work to become an expert on that subject through study, through mentorship, through experience. So you may not be there yet. 7 months ago, I would have never created a course on lead magnets, but I have put in 7 months of work to master the skills that I'm teaching. So just because you're not an expert yet doesn't mean you can't eventually teach on it. It just means you have work to do. Okay, so your passions. Here's a great example. I knew I was passionate about the wealth niche and about setting people free financially and teaching people how to grow their business. But that didn't mean in the beginning that I was an expert. So I needed to put in the time. I needed to put in the study. And I took a lot of courses and I gleaned a lot of information from people doing what I wanted to do one day. And so I was passionate about it and I became an expert at it. And then make sure that you are doing something that's authentic to you. Okay, so just because someone else near you or around you is doing something, just because you see a lot of people creating courses on certain things doesn't mean that you need to. Doesn't mean that you need to create a business around that niche or around that topic. Okay, so make sure that you are an expert, make sure that you are passionate about it, and make sure it's authentic to you, because it's going to be that much easier to reach your target audience and to sell your products to them because you have conviction about what you're offering, you have passion about what you're offering, and you have expertise about the topic that you're teaching, okay? So how to create a detailed dream client persona. Okay, I mentioned the word avatar and I mentioned the video game Sims. Okay, so I want you to pretend that you are creating your dream client, okay? So if you were to create an avatar that fits your dream person, who would it be? Okay, what would their demographic be, or their gender, or their age, or any of those things? Okay, what are their pain points? Okay, so we're going to talk about pain point marketing and desire marketing. Okay, they are very similar, yet they are opposites. Okay, so once you have your demographic nailed down, okay, let's use moms who have just had a baby. Okay, new moms. And let's pretend that I am a fitness coach and I want to target new moms who just had babies. They don't have a lot of time. They're tired. They don't want to go to the gym, but they want to lose their baby belly fat, right? They want to do it from home. Okay. So their pain point is they're tired. So they need something that's convenient. Their pain point is they're struggling with their self-image. Their pain point is they have belly fat that they don't want. Okay. But their desire, okay, so remember, pain points and desires are opposites. Their desire is to work out around their baby's nap schedule. So that means working out from home, right? Their desire is to have energy. Their pain point was that they are tired, but their desire is to have energy. So maybe I can create a workout plan that is specific to getting them the desire of having more energy. And, you know, I'm not a fitness coach, but I'm using this as an example. Another desire a mom might have is that I want to be back in my pre-baby jeans. Okay, so when you are marketing, when you are attracting your ideal audience, you can use pain points to attract them, or you can use desires. Okay, both can be effective, but I have seen desire marketing be more effective. Okay, pain points, for example, I could say, are you a mom Are you a new mom who just had a baby and you're so exhausted and don't have time to go to the gym? Well, I have this program that allows you to work out from home and lose the baby weight. Okay, that is an okay marketing campaign. That is an okay advertisement. That's okay. But if I turned it on its head and I started using the desire that that mom has, it can be a lot more powerful. Whereas the pain point marketing was a little bit negative. It's just like a drag, like, oh yeah, I am tired, or yeah, I do want to lose the baby fat. Okay, let's talk about desire marketing. Okay, so if I'm speaking to that mom's desires, I can say, are you a new mom who is ready to have energy to take care of her baby and squeeze back into those pre-baby jeans while working out in between your baby's nap schedule? Wow, like that sounds really attainable. It sounds positive. It sounds empowering. Okay, so pain point marketing has a little bit of a draining energy. It drains the willpower out of the person you're trying to reach, right? It makes them feel defeated. Whereas desire marketing makes them feel empowered, makes them feel like they're ready to jump in, okay? Does not mean that you cannot reach someone with their pain points targeted. But do you see how desire marketing is a little bit more empowering, a little bit more positive? It makes the client that you're trying to serve ready to buy, okay? You're priming them and getting them ready to buy. So keep that in mind whenever you're crafting whatever copy you are going to be writing for your posts or your advertisements or your emails, things like that. Keep it light, keep it positive, speak to their dream, speak to their desire. All right, so market research tactics to ensure that you're speaking to the right people. This is kind of where the work comes in, the work as far as research and doing your homework. And a lot of people don't want to go through these steps, but I do want to give you opportunities to know how you can do some market research in an attainable way to give yourself feedback on what your audience wants, what they're looking for. You get the idea. Okay, so polls is a great way to do this. You can do polls in Reels, but I have seen them more effective if you do polls in your stories. Okay, so I will do story polls several times a week, and I take that data and I keep track of it. Okay, so for people who are following me, I can ask them specifically what they are looking for or what they are struggling with. Another place to conduct polls or to see feedback in this manner is on Threads. Threads is a great resource to ask questions and get rapid responses, or you can even just go read other threads that people have done where they have hundreds of comments, and you can figure out pretty quickly what your target audience is looking for, what people are struggling with, things like that. Okay, market research calls. I actually heard about this in a training that I did from a high ticket coach who makes millions of dollars in her business, and she challenged her group to do market research calls. So you can conduct calls where you ask someone if they would be willing to join you on a phone call or join you on a Zoom or Google Meets or something like that, and do some market research. Okay, you can reward them with maybe some free product. And this is really going to help build your reputation with not only that client, but future clients, because you're going to be hearing from your target audience what they actually are looking for. Okay, come prepared with lots of questions, asking them about their pain points, asking them about their desires. And this is going to give you real life feedback instead of just assuming you know what your client needs. Okay, next, it's vital that we understand your client's buying journey. Okay, no matter what niche you're in, no matter who your client is, they will go on this 3-step journey. And we're going to go over that in just a moment. And then how to map out your content to align with each stage of that journey. Okay, so let's dive into that. All right, let's break down the buyer's journey. Okay, believe it or not, every single person who's bought from me over the last 7 months has gone on this journey, and all of your buyers will go on this journey as well. Okay, it starts with awareness. Okay, when your client becomes aware that there is a solution to their pain point or to their desire that they're trying to achieve. Okay, so just like that mom who's wanting to lose her baby belly fat, once she starts realizing that she doesn't have to stay in the position she's in, that there are opportunities and possibilities for her to partake in to change that reality, then she becomes aware. She becomes aware that there are products available for her or services available for her. Okay, same with my business. When people start realizing there's an opportunity for me to make money online. Okay, that was the first step with every one of my clients who has purchased a beginner course. Okay, the second stage is consideration. This is when they start thinking, could this be something that I actually could have success with? Or could this actually fix my problem that I'm having? And again, with all of my clients, they began to consider, and usually in the consideration stage, that's when they start asking questions. That's when they're commenting your keyword to get your lead magnet. That's when maybe they opt in for your email, things like that, okay? Lastly is the decision, and we're going to talk about how we finally get someone to making a decision for that product or that it's not for them, okay? And we want people who are really close to making that decision to be yes. We don't want to fill our email list full of people who really don't want our offers. We don't want to fill our email list full of people who aren't ready to buy, because that's exhausting for you, and honestly, it's just a waste of time. We want to attract the right people, okay? And so when they make that decision, it should be effortlessly because you have brought them on this journey of awareness, consideration, and then to make that decision. Okay, let's talk about content for each stage of the buyer's journey. Okay, again, buyer's journey starts with awareness, consideration, and then lastly, decision. Okay, if you are specifically using Instagram like I am, I know most of you are. So let's break down Instagram's features and how you can utilize each feature to take your audience on that journey, your client on that journey of awareness, consideration, and decisions, and where you ought to be utilizing these for those purposes, okay? So awareness, this happens through Reels and ads, okay? If you're not running ads, that's totally fine, but Reels kind of serve as our ads for our business. So when you are creating Reels, you are wanting to collect as many people who are potentially interested in looking, actively searching for the solutions that you have to offer, okay? So Reels having content that is specific for those purposes is really important. And so, for example, it is probably not a good idea if you do not have a business about dogs to do a dog reel. I've actually seen this happen before where someone posted about their pet on their business page and it attracted several thousand followers. And the problem with that is they were attracted to something that had nothing to do with their business. So even though the followers were there, the numbers were there, those people were not ready to buy because they had no interest in what her business was actually about. Okay, so make sure your reels are cohesive for what your dream client is looking for, and they're going to be most effective that way. Okay, the next thing is consideration. Okay, when we are wanting a dream client to consider our offer, this happens through giving them more opportunity to ask questions, more opportunity to give us feedback, to develop a one-on-one conversation with them. Okay, and this can happen through a couple of ways. Now, on Reels, they can comment a keyword. Okay, that can open up a DM, which is why DMs are under the consideration section. Also in stories, you can do polls, you can do question boxes, you can do lots of different things to ask for feedback. That can open a DM, a private conversation, right? Okay, and in lives are great for educating. And when you're educating, stories are also great for educating. But when you're educating someone on what you offer, It gives them the opportunity to think more about why it would benefit them. And when they're thinking more about why this is beneficial, and you're giving all this free education away, it's building trust between you and them. And then they're more likely to reach out with more questions, which hopefully will lead to decisions. Okay, this is why DMs are so important on Instagram and emails. Okay, so we're going to go into email marketing later on in this mini course, but DMs and emails can be very intimate, and that's what we want. We want to be alone with the dream client so that they have the safety to ask personal questions and feel like they can make the decision with someone that now they trust because you've taken them on this buyer journey. All right, let's talk about how to create an irresistible lead magnet. We're going to do this by breaking down a couple of different things, but before we do, I want to remind you that a lead magnet has the word magnet in it for a reason, and it is to attract as many dream clients as possible. And if your lead magnet is not attractive, then you're not ever going to get people that are willing to download it, okay? Also, if it's confusing or it has a weird title, that may be an issue as well. We'll talk about that in a minute. But that being said, first we need to identify a problem-solving lead magnet, okay? So we need to define what is a problem that our dream client is having and how can we solve it with our freebie, okay? Number two, we need to identify types of high converting lead magnets. There are several different types of lead magnets that you can use, and you should be mixing these up, okay? For the longest time, I just thought, oh, I just can create something on ChatGPT and throw it up there and that's fine. But whenever I wasn't getting anyone downloading my freebie, or I saw someone downloading it and I kind of had this feeling of like, oh, they just saw how bad mine is, that led me to understand that I needed to put more work and effort into my lead magnet, okay? And so this leads us to how do we make our freebies irresistible? And I'm really excited to dive into this a little bit more. Okay, so first we need to define a problem-solving lead magnet, okay? First think, why would I want to download someone else's lead magnet? Why would I want somebody's freebie? Usually it's solving a problem that we are searching for. Many of the freebies that I have downloaded give me information that I would be willing to pay for. Okay, so that's number one. Am I giving information that some people maybe would charge for? And I know that's going to make you feel like, oh my goodness, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can give away free information. Yes, you can. And the more free information you give away, the more opportunity you have to grow a strong relationship with that client, who will probably come back for the paid information that you're going to be offering. Okay, and we're going to talk about this idea of giving the most away for free. I say it all the time because it is so true. Okay, so the psychology behind lead magnets is so important. Think about going to Costco. Think about seeing all of the free samples of cheese and salami and whatever else, what all other else those snacks are that they decide to give us for free just to convince us to buy them. That is a lead magnet. That is the psychology behind it. You are searching for something that you would be willing to pay for, or you are given the opportunity to sample something before you buy it. Okay? So that being said, a lead magnet should identify something within your client's pain points or their desires. Okay? So it's something that they are actively searching for because they have a problem that needs to be solved. And this may sound so obvious, but for example, I have a sales strategy lead magnet because I know how desperately my audience is struggling to make sales. Okay, so I do this on purpose because I know that they're looking for these solutions. How can I make more sales? They are looking for that. And so they're most likely going to at least download my lead magnet. Whether or not they buy anything from me or not, that remains to be seen, right? But I know that they are searching for this solution. And then once they get on my email list, I can nurture that relationship. I can continue to give free information away and give free advice. And then I can take them on that journey of what was it? Awareness, consideration, and then decision, okay? So that's how you get somebody in on a lead magnet whenever you are problem solving with it. Okay, and we also have to define the types of high converting lead magnets. And I love this because so many people just think a lead magnet is a PDF of like 50 hooks that people can use on their reels. That is not the only type of lead magnet that you should be considering. Here are some of my favorites. Okay, obviously a free guide. Guides are great, especially if they feel more like a course. Okay, I have dabbled with using more video format for anything that I create. And could you imagine making a free masterclass for somebody? Something that you would feel like, man, I should have charged $100 for that. But when you give that away for free, that is building so much trust with people. Okay, so really step up your lead magnet game whenever you're creating a free guide. Maybe make it into a free masterclass instead, or a free mini course instead. Checklist, okay? Again, that to me doesn't necessarily seem that impressive until you start telling people, this is my checklist that I do every day that helps me make 4 figures in sales in a day. I would download that. I would download a checklist like that. A free webinar. I've just dove into these and they are highly successful, okay? Free webinars are like saying, come join my free masterclass, but it's live and you get to have Q&A and you get to have opportunity to give them exclusive offers. They're great. Challenges. I've done this before and this is so successful whenever done right. And it can give you an opportunity to have a community built specific for that challenge, which is only going to help you develop more relationships with those people long term. Okay, and templates sell like crazy because people are so busy. They're busy and they don't want to have to make things from scratch. So think about something that is difficult for you to make and think, you know, this would be something that I'd be willing to pay for if somebody were to offer it for me to make my life easier, okay? Could you imagine giving that away for free and how much trust you're building with your audience because you're giving such value away? Okay, now choosing the right type for your niche and your audience. Now, I'm going to argue that you can use all of these in many different ways within any niche, truthfully. Obviously, like a checklist, that would work great for a health and fitness niche. A webinar does really well for business, but I'm not ever going to tell you can't use all of these within any niche or your audience. But honestly, depending on what offer you're trying to lead them to, will determine what route you go, okay? And you can use multiple opportunities, multiple lead magnets for offers that you're trying to lead. So I hope this helps you start getting your creative juices flowing and start implementing these in different ways. Okay, so how do we make a freebie irresistible? Okay, we are going to be crafting a clear value proposition that speaks directly to your dream client. Okay, again, if you would pay for it, it needs to be a freebie for you. Okay, if you would not pay for it, then it's not good enough for your client. Okay, we want to give the most away for free. We want them to open it and say, oh my gosh, I feel like I just got something for free that I should have paid $100 for or more. So we want to make sure that there is clear value in that freebie. Okay, if you're questioning the value, you have not put enough in there. Okay, designing and packaging your lead magnet for maximum impact. Okay, use Canva. Canva is amazing. It's a free tool. Use ChatGPT, but make sure that you use it in a way that doesn't look like ChatGPT wrote this for you. Okay, so there are ways to train it to make it sound more like you. Really play with it and be creative, but don't be afraid to really dive deep into, what other people have done. You can download other people's lead magnets and be inspired. Go and research, those people that you look up to within your niche and your industry. Download their freebies, get some ideas, and go at it in Canva and use ChatGPT when you're stuck. Okay, creating a compelling call to action that entices instant signups. Okay, so this goes back to desire marketing versus pain point marketing. Okay, so if somebody told me I could fit back into my pre-baby jeans in 2 months with these 3 easy steps, and all I have to do to get started is to comment jeans. Okay, that sounds enticing and motivating, and I'm happy to comment that keyword and happy to give that business person my email. Okay, but if you told me comment jeans if you have baby fat and you wish you didn't, now that's dramatic, but do you see the difference? Okay, the result should be the same. The desire is the same. The pain point is the same, but how you're wording it and how you're marketing it is different entirely. And it gives a different energy, and it gives that person who is wanting to comment that keyword, gives them empowerment to do that instead of shame. Okay, so give the most away for free. I've said this twice already. I'm going to say it a million times before we are done with this mini course. But when you feel like you've given enough away, give more. Give more away. Okay. So this is going, again, we're just building this tower of trust between you and your client. Let's talk about how to create a seamless lead funnel. Now, we've all heard of sales funnels, and I'm sure most of you have heard of trust funnels. They're very similar, but we're going to talk about taking your audience on that buyer's journey through a lead funnel, and we want it to be seamless, okay? When I started to understand the power of this, that's when I started seeing an increase in my leads and in my sales, okay? So first, we're going to be crafting a high converting opt-in page. Okay, this is specifically on your website. I'm going to be using StanStore as an example, and we're going to talk about setting up email sequences so that the higher conversion rate happens. Okay, we want to convert people to that decision at the end of their buyer journey, and not just be stuck in consideration or opt out of your emails. We don't want that. So we are going to take them on that the seamless lead funnel so that they can go again from the awareness to consideration to officially making the decision that they do want the products you're offering. All right, let's talk about crafting a high converting opt-in page. This is where your audience is going to go once they've commented the keyword. You're going to send them this landing page, okay? And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how to create this landing page, especially if you have StanStore, so that it can be sent directly to your client whenever they comment that keyword, because that can be a little bit tricky. But also I want you to understand what elements are key to making a powerful landing page for your email opt-ins, okay? So first, there needs to be a headline. You need to explain the benefits of what you're offering them, social proof, and a call to action, okay? So these things are really important if you are actually wanting people to convert into someone entering their email list, converting into a lead, hopefully to convert into a sale eventually after you have nurtured them in your email flows, which we're going to talk about in just a minute. Okay, your opt-in page is so important, and I'm going to show you an example of one of my opt-in pages that just so happens to be for this mini course, mainly because I love it so much. It is beautiful, it is eye-catching, and it is convincing that my clients needed to sign up for this waitlist, not just because of the beautiful aesthetic, but because of the value that I'm proving to them that they need. Okay, so I'm going to explain it in the next video. Here is an example of an incredible opt-in page, and I'm actually going to use the one that I set up for the waitlist for this mini course. Okay, so after I click on join the waitlist, I want 25% off. It's going to bring me to the Lead Magnet Magic waitlist landing page where I have an incredibly vibrant sales page, and I want to teach you exactly how I made this beautiful and engaging First, it says join the waitlist Lead Magnet Magic mini course, and it gives a short description of what my clients might be looking for if they are needing this course. Wasn't that beautiful? Okay, did it make you kind of want your sales page or your opt-in page to look like that? If that's the case, I want you to know I do have a amazing resource that teaches you how to create sales pages on Stand Store that look like that. Okay, it's very simple. I have a sales page template kit that I sell, and I'm actually going to link it in the bottom of this course down below. There's a link if you are interested in investing in that. In my opinion, it is worth it because it really elevates your Stand Store sales pages and your opt-in pages to something beautiful like what you saw in that video. Okay, once someone has opted into your email list, then they will start getting an email flow if you've set it up. Okay, so let's talk about automated email sequences. This is important to do before you start getting leads. I know that it seems like you'll never, get the leads that you're wanting to see, but I promise the day will come. I remember I waited 6 weeks into my business. I had made quite a bit of money before I even set up any email marketing, which was a terrible idea. So don't do that. I want you to set it up and be ready for when those dream clients start coming. So let's talk about it. Welcoming a new subscriber and nurturing them through automated email funnels. This is key, okay? This is key for them not forgetting who you are, because a lot of people download a freebie and then they don't scroll anymore. And so a lot of times they'll forget who you are. And so this is a great way to continue to connect with them on a daily basis. Okay, there will be email sequences that turn leads into paying customers. And we're going to talk about a five-part sequence breakdown, that's hard to say, of these emails. It's like a journey. Again, we're taking them on that journey to close the deal so that they go from consideration to making that decision to buy. And we're going to talk a little bit about tools to automate and optimize your email marketing. Okay, you may have no idea how to set up an email flow or what to type in those 5 emails that are going to be sent out to each of your leads whenever they sign up or opt in to your email list. But this is the journey that you're going to be taking your audience on when they decide to opt in. And it's broken down into 5 different emails, and I'm going to explain each one and what purpose they serve. This is really important that you do these things in order and that you do all of them, okay? So whenever you set up your email flows, you are going to set them up to automate or automatically send at a specific time after that person opts into your email list. Okay, so the first one is the welcome email. This is the first impression email that you're going to have with that person, okay, with that customer. This is usually going to happen within the first 24 hours of them opting in. This could be 2 hours later. This could be 12 hours later, sometime within the first 24 hours. Again, this is the first impression. It's just like, hey, I'm so glad you're here. Not really digging deep into anything, but welcoming them, really making things personable and making sure that you are giving them some attention for opting into your email list. Okay, so the second one is sharing your story. This is where you are sharing why you are doing what you're doing. This is where you start to get personal so that that connection is brought to a stronger and deeper level. Okay, and telling it in a way that is intriguing and engaging for your audience is key. Okay. Number 3 is providing value. I almost said share value. Providing value, okay? This is where we're giving more away for free, and we want to convince them that they've made a great choice in opting into our emails. We want to give them something for free. Using the subject lining is so important in your email to really give the subject of that email something really intriguing for them to want to open it to learn more, especially when you're giving value away for free. Number 4 is overcome objections. Okay, this is where we're getting closer to talking to them about the products that we are providing and why they opted in to begin with, which was to learn more about what we have to offer for them. And so here's where we're going to be taking away all of the fears associated with them saying yes to our offer, overcoming those objections, whether that's how much the offer costs. Maybe we have payment plans, or worrying about how much time it's going to take or how complicated it may be to operate. Okay, so overcoming those objections for them. We know what objections they have because we've probably thought them too. So make sure that you overcome each objection that you think your client may have. And lastly, you are going to give them an offer. Okay, so this offer email is going to include a special discount code or a special freebie to couple with them saying yes and making that decision to jump in to the offer that you have provided for them. Okay, so this takes them on that journey of not just landing in your email list, but then turning them into that closed sale. That's what we all want to see, right? So make sure that you incorporate each of these into your email flow and you will be good to go. All right, I wanted to share some email marketing tools that I think are definitely great options for you. I'm going to share what I use and then some other options that I do not use, but I've heard great things. Okay, so I use StanStore Pro, which has the email marketing integrated into the system. I absolutely love StanStore. If you are on the fence about using it, I highly suggest it. You can always reach out to me and I would give you more information about StanStore. Also, if you have not joined StanStore, I do have a referral link that I'll link below. Use my referral link and you can get 14 days free on me. Okay, so within StanStore Pro, you can do email marketing for all of your clients, which is great because not only will your store be there, but your email marketing, you can respond to any of the clients who've purchased from you. All of it is all in one, which is what I love about StanStore. But Flowdesk is another great option. I actually have many business friends who are entrepreneurs who use Flowdesk and love it. The one thing holding me back from jumping into Flowdesk is just that it's not integrated with my StanStore. And I really love how all-in-one Stan is. And so it's the only thing that's holding me back, but it's definitely worth looking into. There are features that Flowdesk has that StanStore does not. So I just wanted to share that. And then MailChimp actually is integrated. You can integrate it into your StanStore, but I have not because I really have seen no need to at this point in my business, but it is a great resource. Another thing that I use for email marketing whenever I feel very stuck with copywriting is ChatGPT. If you are struggling to write out your 5-part sequences for your emails, use ChatGPT to help you write those out and then edit them from there to make them sound more human and like you with your style. And so this is a great way to get emails done quickly. I use it very frequently to help me save time. And honestly, it just is a lot more creative than I can be most of the time. So those are my email marketing tool suggestions. And again, all of these are great. You will be in good hands with any one of these programs. And As long as you have something set up for your email flows, you will be good to go. Hey, let's dive into one of the most important parts of gaining leads is marketing your lead magnet, okay? And this is going to happen through a strategic plan, which is very, very exciting. I can't wait to talk about this. Okay, we're going to talk about content pillars. We're going to talk about lead magnet keywords and lead magnet flows. Okay, so let's dive in. Okay, I absolutely love this topic. Content pillars, like that, those terms get thrown around a lot in this business, but I want to break down how I do content pillars because I think that it is different than how some people do it. Okay, so within my business, whenever I'm creating content, I have 3 content pillars. Okay, so I'm a digital marketer teaching other people how to make money online through education, through learning how to monetize social media, those types of things. So I have 3 pillars within that business. I have number 1, where I'm marketing the opportunity that digital marketing is to a beginner. Okay, so that is number 1. That's my first pillar. Number 2 is sales strategy. Sales strategy to reach existing digital marketers who are struggling with sales, struggling to grow their business, right? The last content pillar is Instagram growth. Okay, so when I'm creating content, it is either going to be about the opportunity digital marketing offers, sales strategy, or Instagram strategy for growth. Okay, so all 3 of those are my pillars. That being said, when you are selecting your pillars, it has to be something that you feel like is leading your audience to a offer. Okay, so when you are when you're creating a lead magnet, that magnet should be drawing your audience towards something to buy. So if you are doing something like 50 hooks that are going to make your reels go viral, that's great if you're leading them to an offer that's maybe about reel content or about Instagram growth. But if you are doing 50 hooks for your content to go viral, but you only have, beginner courses in your store, that is very difficult to translate. The magnet is not sending them to the right place. Does that make sense? And so when you're selecting pillars, you have to keep in mind what you have to offer in your store. Unless you want to create brand new courses, which eventually I urge you to create your own content and create your own offers. But if you are just starting out and you don't have offers other than what's already provided for you or what you've already invested in, you need to ask yourself, is my content reflecting how I'm wanting to lead someone to this offer? Okay, so if I have an offer that's going to help someone start their business, I better be talking about the opportunity that business can offer them. Okay, I better be talking about the features or the benefits that this can offer them, right? I shouldn't be just talking about things that have nothing to do with leading them to that offer. Okay, so again, give the most away for free. So whenever we are creating content pillars, what attracts people is when you are giving information away that makes it feel like they just paid for something. Okay, I see this all the time with really successful business coaches who are telling people so much information that it feels like you're sitting down for a consultation with them, right? And what does that do? It gives them credibility, it gives them authority, and it makes them somebody that I would be willing to pay, for their offer because of the amount of info that they're getting, not just in their lead magnet, but in their content, okay? So when you are considering all of these things, give the most away for free. Make sure when you're selecting your pillars that it is leading them somewhere, leading them on their journey to the offer that you have in your store. Okay, lead magnet keywords, also called call to action. Okay, so we are calling people to action to comment a keyword. Why? This is kind of like the magic button that gets them what you have to give them for free in exchange for their email address. Okay, so lead magnet keywords are so important. And I remember when I first started on social media, I never thought someone was actually going to comment my keyword. Now it is thrilling whenever I see hundreds of people do it a day, and I'm starting to get leads anywhere from 50 to 150 a day. So that being said, it all starts here. So your content needs to reflect a content pillar that is leading someone to a lead magnet, okay, to a freebie. So here's what I want to tell you. If you've only ever thought you can only have one freebie, you're wrong. I thought this for a very long time. You can have multiple freebies, and you should have multiple freebies. So if I have 3 content pillars, I'm going to at least have one freebie for every content pillar. So I have a freebie for my beginner digital marketers. I have I have a freebie for my sales strategy content pillar. And then I have a freebie for my Instagram growth content pillar. So there are almost like 3 little funnels happening with my content. People who are interested in sales, people who are needing help to grow their Instagram, people who are interested in making money online. Those are the 3 funnels that are happening, and they start with content. They lead to that lead magnet where they're going to comment a keyword. So make sure you're selecting a keyword that is memorable. Make sure it's simple. Make sure it's easily spelled, okay? That you don't want people misspelling words because it's complicated, okay? And make sure that you're placing it in your caption to where people can see it. I have recently toyed around with moving where my call to action is for them to comment the keyword. And I have noticed that if you put it higher in the caption, they are more likely to actually comment. Doesn't have to be the very top line, but maybe the top 3 lines. Put your call to action there. Okay, and then automations. I have been in this space for 7 months. I have used automations, then I've stopped using automations, and then I've come back to automations. And so here's the thing. If you choose not to do automations, that's okay. I did it for a very long time, and I responded in a way that was human, and I made deep connections with people, and I made lots of money without automations. But if you are to the point where you are on your phone all the time because you're responding to people commenting your keyword, it is okay to invest in automations. So I do use ManyChat, and I do have a referral link if you are interested in joining ManyChat. I do recommend it. It can be a little finicky sometimes, but I do believe that it is really, really great when you get to the point where you need to automate. Okay, lead magnet flows. Okay, this is where your email flow is specific for the lead magnet that they downloaded. So we already talked about content pillars. I have 3, okay? I also have 3 freebies that are connected to those specific content pillars. So just like I have a specific lead magnet for that content pillar, I also have a specific specific lead magnet flow for those emails. So go back to those 5 sequences that we talked about, where there's a welcome email and it goes through each one down to the offer email. You need 5 emails in that flow for each freebie or lead magnet that you have. Okay, so I have a sales strategy lead magnet. So I'm going to have 5 emails in the flow for my sales strategy people who are interested in learning more about that. Because if I just do a generic email for all of my offers, it's gonna be kind of confusing for people who didn't want to opt in for Instagram growth. They wanted to opt in for sales strategy. And so make sure that your email flows are specific for the category or the content pillar that they fall under. Okay, we've made it to the final section where we're going to talk about analytics and adjusting. Okay, being sure to use analytics in different categories for your leads is so vital. Okay, we're going to look at content analytics, lead magnet analytics, and email analytics. That is a lot of analytics all on one page, but we need to look at all of the numbers. Okay, numbers help us gauge what is working and what is not, and being able to analyze those numbers are really important so that you can grow in your business and you can adjust when necessary. Okay, so whenever you are looking into your content analytics, I want you to think about it in putting it into 3 different categories, one for each pillar. Okay, so for me, it's digital marketing, then sales strategy, then growth, Instagram growth. And so whenever I'm analyzing that content, it could be as simple as counting up comments, views, likes, how many times my keyword was commented on certain reels, and really looking at, okay, what content pillar is doing the best? Which one is not performing very well? This is going to help you do a couple of things. It could tell you, I really want to pour more energy into this content pillar, or whatever content pillar is doing the weakest. It could urge you to do some market research for your target audience, especially if you're really passionate about that pillar. Or it could teach you that maybe you're not passionate about that pillar and you need to change it to something else where you could serve your audience better. Okay, so really looking at the content and seeing what is my audience resonating with, because sometimes we think we know what our clients want and what content they're going to resonate with, and it doesn't always fit. And so whenever you're seeing that people aren't liking this content, why not? Is it because of the topic, or is it because of the style? Like, really dive deep into why certain content isn't performing well, because it could be that that's just not a topic that your audience is passionate about or needing help with. And so this can tie you back to that market research that we talked about before, where you can get on calls with people, you can ask questions with polls, you can reach out to make a pool of research where you've selected 5 people and you're asking them questionnaires, and maybe you're rewarding them with something free. Again, giving the most away for free, creating a relationship of know, like, and trust with people within your niche. So important. Okay, lead magnet analytics. Okay, so we can look at this a couple of different ways. How many people are commenting a keyword specific to that content pillar? So how many people are commenting sales, or how many people are commenting about Instagram growth, or how many are commenting that they're ready to jump into digital marketing? You can look at it that way, or you could go to your store and see how many lead magnets are downloaded within each content pillar. And again, this is going to tell you some information about what is your most popular content pillar, what is your least popular, and if you need to pivot away from something, or if you need to do more market research. Words are hard tonight. That being said, always do maybe monthly check-ins with this, because it's going to give you so much feedback. It's going to give you so much clarity on what next steps you need to take. Okay, lastly, email analytics. This is super helpful so that you can start gauging on how your audience is responding to your follow-up emails. Okay, you can look at the emails opened. It gives you a percentage of how many emails are opened from those flows. Clicks, how many times your links are clicked on within those emails that you've embedded in there. And then, of course, purchases. This is where it's going to really give you that feedback on okay, how are my emails nurturing my audience? Are they working? Are they kind of lackluster? Do I need to, redo my copywriting or zhuzh them up a little bit? Okay. So this is going to give you so much feedback on what you need to improve on. And this is not something that happens overnight. Obviously, this takes so much time to really dive deep into the numbers of your analytics, but it's going to give you so much to go on to grow and improve for the future. Thank you guys so much for joining me in this mini course. I have been having so much fun with diving into the strategies to get more leads, and I hope that this gives you the results that you are searching for. Okay, dive into your content pillars, make your email flows, make sure that you're diving into your analytics after you've started seeing some results so that you can only improve from here. Thanks, guys.